So the first part of the process is just getting these guys used to the expectations and getting used to what I am in the gym every single day. Instead of doing it with words, they have to get on the floor and their actions have to set the tone, if they're going to be leaders. The biggest goal, and I'm being very honest right now, is can we continue to get better every day? Because then those things, the records and stuff, they take care of themselves.
So glad you're with us here on another edition of the Coach Clark Radio Show. I'm Eric Lansing, and we're still in tape mode as the studio still has a little ways to go before we can go live for our beautiful audience out there. So instead, we'll recap this past weekend's games with some play-by-play calls and some interviews from the men's basketball head coach Derek Clark and a few players as well. Coach Clark and his squad came into this past weekend with a 6-3 conference record, the top mark in the Rocky division of the RMAC, and just one game back of the top overall record. First up on the weekend was Colorado Christian, one of the higher scoring teams in the conference, averaging 10 three-point field goals made per contest. The first half was a back-and-forth affair. The Cougars were energized on the road by an unknown name in Isaiah Hansen.
30 left to go here in the second half. That three-point shot up and good. Isaiah Hansen, the redshirt sophomore, over. He'll go inside of Taylor, who goes up and just could not finish. Great feed. And the second chance opportunity goes down for CCU.
The Roadrunners were led by a veteran who carried his squad when his offense wasn't running on all cylinders.
2 early points for CCU, and the block there by Deshaun Phoenix, the senior, broadcast on their channel, and Phoenix to the rim, the bucket, and count it. The fifth-year senior.
CCU actually held a 1-point lead over Coach Clark's squad, and it was the play of Andre Harris to start the second half that gave MSU Denver the lead.
10 in a row, quite the feat, and a great pass from Cortez to Harris underneath. Up to 7 points, ties the lead, and the block by Harris, doing it on the offensive end, now on the defensive end.
This game featured 12 ties and 13 lead changes before Roadrunner guard Tony Dobbinson, who missed his first 9 shots of the game, started to heat up just in time to save the day.
Do have 1 3-point shot. Make that 2. Dobbinson. 8 seconds, Dobbinson, 3-point shot, and it falls through for the three-pointer. The side of the court. Dobbinson just hit one before, hits another one. And Dobbinson starting to heat up and puts Metro back up by 2. The Roadrunners holding this team that averages about 82 points a game to 20 points below their average.
MSU Denver ekes out a 66-62 win, and 6-year head coach Derek Clark and Dobbinson weigh in on coming out with the crucial victory at home.
Tony, congratulations. RMAC win, always a big-time win. CCU gave you guys a good fight. Just talk about the last few moments of the game and how you guys came out with the win tonight.
I feel like we came out pretty strong at the end. We didn't have our bigs out there, but all the guards came in. Enrique came out, and he got us some rebounds for us, and we had some big shots at the end, and we needed it, actually, and getting to the free throw line was a big plus for us as well.
I know you just kind of struggled there for a little while tonight, as you could see right there in your face, but you hit 2 big three-pointers. What is it about having that confidence down the stretch when you're having a bad night to be able to come up big when it counts the most?
If it's amazing, actually. It feels pretty good, and after hitting those shots, I just felt like I knew I could hit the next one. After the first one, I knew I was going to hit the second one and the third one. And then, that's a momentum change for me, So as soon as I hit one shot, I start feeling it, and then I could keep it going.
Talk about how free throws played a factor in this game. Obviously, with scoring not coming easily for you guys right now, it's one that you kind of can control. You guys had a ton of free throw attempts, and you converted on a ton of them as well.
Yeah, free throws are pretty good. Well, tonight it was. We got to the line 28 times, 28 for 38 from the free throw line, and we beat them in free throws, actually. They were 15 for 19, so I think we did a pretty good job out there from the free throw line. One of my teammates, Peter Mueller, he got to the free throw line 10 times tonight, which was great for us, and he finished the game out for us as well.
Talk about your defense while the offense is struggling. You guys played championship defense. You held this team to 20 points below their average. What worked well for you guys? Excuse me.
Well, defense, that's all we work on most of the time. Defense is a key for our team because our offense is not working right now. We're struggling on the offensive end. So defense is great for us, That full court pressure is hard to get by us. We always pressure guys. And then our 2 defense, we always know where the shooters are, so we get out there just in time before they can hit a shot.
How much do you guys take pride in your defense? Obviously, it's great to be able to score and hit double figures, but when you hold their guys in check, McLemore is one of their best players. Yes. Didn't have a great night. He was frustrated you guys were double teaming him. I feel like you guys take a ton of pride in what you guys do defensively.
Yes. Defense is a key to success for our team because, like I said before, offensively we're not there all the way. So we have to get stops, and our defense have to change it around so we can be able to score on offense.
So I'm going to ask you this question. I don't know exactly what I'm going to get from you since you're new to this team, but Mines tomorrow night, it's a big rivalry game in the last few years that these two have kind of gone together. What do you know about the rivalry, is that something you even look at when you go and play an opponent?
I mean, I usually don't really mind it. I just go out there and play. That's all we need to do is go out there and play. We don't need to – I know it's a rivalry game, but we need to get out there and do our job. That's the most important part.
All right, Coach. Many lessons throughout a season, especially with these new guys. One of the things that we want to see them get better at is coming down through in the stretch and playing well. And we saw some big shots from Enrique and from Tony, and then Peter Mueller getting to the line 10 times for free throws. To come up in the clutch like that against a tough CCU team must be great for you to see.
Those guys, we've always had great games with CCU. There's been very little blowouts. Even, last year, those games were right down to the wire. To win tight games like that, it comes down to execution and toughness, and that might be just a desire to get one more rebound, that big rebound, or get the ball in bounds at the end of the game, so you can make free throws. I thought our guys really just we had to fight through some foul troubles tonight, and so we were patching our lineup, obviously we ended up very small, and those guys did a great job. We just got stops down the stretch. I was really pleased with our toughness tonight.
Talk about some of the big shots there. Tony Dobbinson hit. He had a tough shooting night. I think it was 0 for 9 at one point, and then to come through with some free throws. Enrique had some big time shots. Just big time moments from players in a big time game.
Yeah, it seems like it was all spread around in terms of guys making big plays. Tony can go 0 for 9, and all of a sudden he still has the belief to make a big shot. Enrique, 7 rebounds. Peter Mueller, biggest thing I was pleased about, he got to the line 10 times and made 9 of them. Brian Howard, who hadn't played much tonight, comes on, and he made those big free throws. It came down to it was a double-edged sword with free throws tonight because we had a stretch where we missed like 4 out of 5, but we got to the line 38 times. We made 28 of them or something like that. So we really just won the game at the free throw line because it was a tough shooting night for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with CCU, who's known for the three-point shooting. It just seems like as long as we've been covering them, they've been able to shoot three-pointers. Just 3 of them tonight for them, and they shoot about 10. And so for that side, you guys really won that battle.
Well, I threw a challenge out to those guys because they had been making 10 makes per game. That's 30 points. And I said, let's see if we can hold them under 5 or less on makes. And I didn't think that they'd just make 3 and shoot 18%. But we did a great job of chasing the known guys off the line and, made them a little bit more drivers because they are a great three-point shooting team. And they can get hot on any given night. But I thought our guys did a great job of defending the three-point line tonight.
And defensively holding that team to 20 points below their average, 3-point, definitely big on it. But their main guys just never seem to get in rhythm. McLemore, McCullough fouled out. Yeah. It just seemed like the pressure you put on their guys just really gave them fits for most of the day.
Well, we thought the key was to because McLemore is a heck of a guard. He scores for him. He handles the ball for him. Everything runs through him, in my opinion. So I think our presses on makes wore him down. We took the ball out of his hands, and he never could get into a groove, and that was one of the big keys to the game. And they had foul troubles as well, but I thought we did an excellent job on McLemore, just keeping the pressure on him and not allowing him to get out in the open floor and get easy baskets. That's the team that was second in the RMAC in scoring at 83 points a game, and I believe we held them to 62 points. So that was a great job of just, getting stops and defending.
So get us excited for tomorrow. I don't know if you have to. It's Colorado Mines. Obviously, it's a big-time rivalry. Comcast is going to be here. It's going to be a big-time game for you guys. How do you got to keep them focused, or what do you say to them to kind of get them in the right mind state tomorrow night?
Well, we start immediately with the preparation tonight. We'll watch the scouting report and edit. But, we got a lot of new guys that are new to this game. But, they know the upperclassmen, pass the messages along. In the RMAC, man, regardless of who you're playing, it's hard to win every night. So I expect another tough game tomorrow.
The following night didn't get much easier for the Red and Blue. Arguably, their biggest rival came to downtown Denver as the Colorado School of Mines came down to the Rare Event Center, and boy, did this game live up to the hype. For those who remember last season's matchup in Golden, it was Caleb Waitsman who hit the game-winning shot in overtime to sink MSU Denver, and it was the forward who continued what he started in this one.
Still you need to take a shot to beat the shot clock, and it is good there. And the fist pump there from number 23, Caleb Weitzman.
Mueller was going to shoot that ball, and you wait for that.
And Andre Harris with the block there, but the putback from Weitzman. Count the bucket and the foul.
Dobbinson continued his momentum from last night to keep his squad close. The senior would score a game-high 23 points, showing some razzle-dazzle to wow the home crowd.
Well, hoist Dobbinson, no good, but he comes and gets his own rebound. He'll go up now off the glass. Tony Dobinson's having a hot start here in this first half. Screen from Harris. Dobbinson with a beautiful spin move. Dobbinson off the glass, gets it to go.
That's a grown man move right there.
The Ore Diggers took a 32-27 advantage into the break and pushed their lead to as high as 8 points with 3:29 left to go.
Down low, left, wide open, and a dunk. Easy as they come there for Adam Lane.
See what Mine's going to do on the offensive end.
Korkmaz right side, left wide open is Schroepfer for the triple, and he drains it. Gives Mines the 54-49 lead.
It looked grim when Colorado Mines took a 7-point lead with 32 seconds left to go, but Coach Clark and his resilient bunch made it interesting in the final moments.
They need him real quick. Dobbinson trying to drive, gets it to go. Cuts the lead to 5 now. Down by 5. Howard with one more free throw. Does make it. So the lead is now down to 4. Probably smart to go ahead and make those free throws. Trying to inbound. They cannot. Lost out of bounds. MSU Denver basketball. Rayer trying to inbound. Rayer gets it into Howard. Howard lost the handle, but he is fouled. 1 minute more free throw here. Good. Leads only 2. 14.1 seconds. MSU Denver's got a foul. Natation with it. That's the last one you want to foul, but you're going to have to do it. He needs to miss at least 1 of 2. First one is up. Mix the first. Hands are far back, so if he misses the first, it's MSU Denver basketball. Second one up, and he makes the second. Could be the dagger. Barely. Up by 4. Coming the other way, Dobbinson. Dobbinson drives. Dobbinson, oh, can't get it to go. Good. Miss. And that is the ball game. MSU Denver falls 70-65 to Colorado. School of Mines had a chance there.
A valiant effort by the Roadrunners as the loss dropped into 7-4 in the RMAC. Coach Clark loved how his team never stopped fighting, and we talked with Peter Mueller as well, who reached double figures in the 5-point loss.
Anthony Rodriguez here with sophomore Peter Mueller, and Peter, tough loss tonight. Obviously, it was a lot of back and forth. There was a moment you guys were about 49 apiece, and they went on a 6-0 run. What was the biggest change there, and how come you guys couldn't rebound after that point?
That's a good question. I mean, basically, in the end of the game, it comes down to effort. And they made some huge rebound and made some huge shots. And it was a really bad time for us to get behind, because then in the end we got to fight back all we can, and that's tough to do.
Mine's obviously a good defensive team. Gokul Natason obviously was chosen as RMAC preseason player of the year, and they were all over the place defensively. They wound up getting 17 points off of turnovers. How do you think that had a big impact in this ballgame?
Oh, huge impact. And Gokul, he got to the line 18 times, and yeah, that makes the whole difference. I mean, that's way too much to make a player get to the line 18 times.
And for a team like yourselves that are obviously trying to continue to bond throughout the entire season with a lot of new faces, down the stretch run, how do you guys improve in the final couple of minutes to get closer and closer and then wind up turning these kinds of ball games into victories?
I mean, we got to get a better start like that. That has been the biggest difference this year for us. We have come behind by 15 in the beginning, and then we got to fight back the whole game. We haven't really been able to get a good start from the beginning and then just go from there.
Tony Dobbinson had 23. You yourself had added 10. Talk about the scoring depth. Obviously, the scoring depth, a big portion of you guys' team. How do you guys think your scoring chemistry is going to continue to roll along as the season kind of progresses through and nearing the the stretch run towards the RMAC tournament?
I mean, we just got to build. Both me and Tony, we're pretty good at driving the ball and kicking the ball, and we just got to keep the rhythm. One game he can have 20. One game I can have 20. I mean, it's just we got to have continuation in that and just build out of that.
On the road to South Dakota, you guys got Black Hill State and South Dakota Mines coming up next week. What are the biggest improvements you guys need to make from these games, this weekend, and then the games coming up next weekend?
Oh, the rebounding and the fouling for sure, because there was way too many free throws we gave up today. And then we got to have a good start. That we need that for sure to get a win too.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anthony Rodriguez here with head coach Derek Clark and coach. A really tough game. You guys down the stretch. You're not down by 5 at halftime. They went on a 6-0 run. You guys were not up at 49 apiece. What was the biggest difference at that point in the ball game?
Well, it was hard to get consistent stops, and when we did, we couldn't marry it with a score on the other end. We got enough stops tonight, but, the Waitsman kid, he hurt us in a big way on the offensive glass, and he came up with a couple big buckets down the stretch. Every time we kind of got a rhythm, we would bail a guy out with fouling. We fouled too much tonight.
Gogol, Natason, and Mines are pretty good defensive teams. They forced you guys into 12 turnovers tonight. 17 points off of the turnovers. How big of a factor do you think that played in tonight's game?
Well, that's plus 10 right there, in a game where, we lost by 5. So, points off turnovers obviously was big. We typically force more than 4 turnovers in a game. 12 is not a high number, but, we only force 4 turnovers, which is unusual. I can't remember the last time, we've had such a low turnover margin in terms of with our opponents. So, obviously that was big, plus 10 in a game that was tight the whole way.
Dobbinson got off to a slow start yesterday, kind of caught fire today, wound up with 23 points. How would you assess his plays? Peter Mueller also had 10 points. How would you assess those two?
Well, Tony was offensive-minded, and there was stretches where it was hard to get a bucket, and, he kind of bailed us out. Enrique Cortez in the second half hits a couple big threes. He's coming along for a young guy. But Tony, he took the challenge, and he put it on his shoulders to score tonight. He did a good job.
Toughness down the stretch yesterday. You were talking about how I got the win for you guys, and down the stretch tonight, the free throws that Mines won the game for them. In terms of toughness tonight, what did you see from your team and the difference between last night and tonight? What was the difference tonight?
Well, it was the bounce of the ball a couple times. You had to get a big stop, and then we had to find a way to score. When we would get to the free throw line, we were 17 for 17 from the free throw line. We just didn't get enough of them. Their best player went to the line 18 times and made 15 of them. He had 15 of his 17 points at the line. He did a good job of getting fouled and getting to the line. So, we're proving that we're making free throws in a game like that. We just got to get more of them.
In terms of development of this entire team, as you guys are nearing that stretch run, what do you think would be the biggest key factor you want changed in these next couple weeks heading up to that run?
We just got to continue to get better offensively. We're playing good enough defense, to win games. We have to get better offensively. We just got to, have a mixture of transition, getting some easy baskets, because we're having a difficult time scoring in the half court. So the biggest thing is to continue to work offensively, because defensively wise, we're doing enough to yield wins.
On the road to South Dakota, taking on Black Hill State and South Dakota Mines next week, what's the biggest thing you want changed from this week into next?
We got to score the basketball. We got to find a way to score the basketball, and we can't get off the slow starts. We've been notorious for getting off the slow starts, and all of a sudden it just feels like we're bailing water, and that's hard to do. At home and then especially on the road. If you get off the slow starts, you could find your way in a big deficit before you blink. So those are going to be tough games. Every game on the road is tough. Black Hills is playing pretty well. They'll be tough games. But, again, we just got to continue to get better.
This weekend, the Red and Blue head north to take on Black Hill State on Friday at 7:30 p.m. and then against South Dakota Mines at 5:30 on Saturday. Remember, you can watch those games absolutely free at Stretch TV. You can find the link at roadrunnersathletics.com. I'm Eric Lansing, and we'll see you next week on the Coach Clark Radio Show.